At exactly 28 minutes to 7 o'clock right here on your best mix of music. How are you this absolutely fantastic rainy evening? It's Charles Carey coming to you live from Two Rivers 98.4 Capital FM every Thursday. It's legal in Saida. Yeah, and of course every Thursday I'm joined by a brother, a friend, my lawyer, crazy guy, very difficult to be friends with because Vituko ni mingi sana. Mutuku wakili.
Hi Charlie, how are you?
How are you, my brother?
Salama kabisa, how are you?
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you on this rainy Thursday.
Yeah, how did you get here in the first place?
Well, I got in here. That's all that matters.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah. Absolutely fantastic. You've spoken like a lawyer. How was your week, my brother?
Terrible, my guy. Terrible. I had a very rough Sunday. Mm-hmm. But everything always passes.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yes.
But happy you're here. Thank you, Mono, for coming through. And if you just tuned in, this conversation continues every Thursday. It goes on 6:30 to 7:30. 0701-984-984. Hashtag Legal Insider. Hashtag
Quick One Wakili.
Quick One Wakili. Of course, in studio we have two amazing people. The others who are coming. This one you already know. He's called Eric Kivuva. Crazy guy, but no, wonderful. Eric, welcome again to Capital FM. I told you you're not going far, bro.
Thank you, CK.
Come closer to the mic, sir.
Okay.
Yes, now I can hear you. Welcome, Eric.
Asante sana,
Yeah.
CK. I appreciate. You know, the last time we were here, we were campaigning.
Yes, I remember.
And I promised you I would win.
Okay, yes.
And I told you never host losers.
Oh,
clearly you're back.
but one of the two who are here, one of them lost. So.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, fantastic. Of course, also in studio, we have a communications secretary. Of course, in studio, we have an amazing group of people from the Nairobi branch who want to tell us exactly what's happening on ground. This is Barbara Mwaura. Welcome to Capital FM. Barbara?
Thank you.
Oh, her voice is good. Hey, haraka sana. Thank you. Welcome. Okay, very quickly, because people know who are you, Barbara? Tell us something about yourself.
I am a council member of the LSK Nairobi branch. My name is Barbara Mwaura. I am also an advocate with
Okay.
5 years experience.
5 years, yeah.
Yeah. And outside the law practice, I like to travel.
Oh,
and I
nice.
currently work for Robson Harris Advocates. And then-
Okay. All right. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Barbara, for coming through. Eric, for coming through. And so many other people I understand are coming through. But what are we talking about today? So,
No, let Eric.
Wakili.
In as much as he's been here, let him introduce himself.
Oh.
Yes. Who are you?
Yeah, man, I need to talk about McKay Advocates, which is one of the most promising and maybe prominent firms we have coming up
Yeah.
in this country. My name is Eric Kivuva, currently serving the Law Society of Kenya as a chair of the LSK Nairobi branch.
Congratulations, sir.
Asante sana. And I'm so happy to be here. This is, I don't know, maybe the millionth time I'm
Yes.
Asante sana.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let me just let's break ice now. Probably, but I think we've explained this before on air. But maybe you can just take a brief moment to tell maybe our new listeners what's the difference between the Law Society of Kenya and the Law Society of Kenya Nairobi branch. And just to continue the conversation, you give us what have been your success stories for the short time you've been in office. Yeah.
Very well. Thank you, Mutua, for this opportunity. And it is important that members of the public just get to understand that we have the LSK Nairobi branch and we have the LSK national office. I think the simplest way to explain it would be maybe draw parallels between the national government and the county governments. We have the national office LSK, which is basically the umbrella body, and then we have 8 other branches. The LSK Nairobi branch happens to be the biggest branch of LSK. We are hosting about 14,000 members of LSK out of the possible 19,000 practicing advocates. And we are largely concerned with the welfare of advocates and practice issues within Nairobi branch. And Nairobi branch covers Kiambu, Thika, Ruiru, Kikuyu, Limuru. All that region falls under the LSK Nairobi branch. And so we are concerned primarily with practice and welfare, as I have said. And we also support the national office because there are many roles that we will have a convergence on many things. And a good example is when there were demos, of course, the branches, the 8 branches of LSK had to come on board to assist the national office because the national office was not able to be in every place in this country. Our success stories, I would say that we have been fortunate to serve within LSK at an interesting time in our country, and I would say that I am proud of what LSK as a national office has done and what we as a branch has done, because we really came out to participate during this period of the demonstrations. We were there to oversee and ensure that rule of law reigned supreme. We assisted with getting the demonstrators out of the police cells. I'm proud to say that, Mutua, you are one of the volunteers one of these days.
You did a good job, yeah.
We spend a lot of time at Kamukunji Police Station, Central Police Station, and many other police stations in this country.
Sometimes you would do that and actually come for the show.
Exactly.
Yeah, I found that very commendable.
You know, and possibly if LSK was not in that space, the number of people that whose whereabouts are unknown would be more than maybe the current around 27 that are still unknown. The number of deaths would possibly be more. And so LSK stood in the gap at a time when the country needed an alternative voice, a voice of reason. And so I would consider that a major achievement, both for the LSK and also the branches. But as a branch, we have come in with a number of ideas that we thought are going to revitalize and just change the way practice is done within the Nairobi branch. And one of the things that we have introduced is what I call the Emerging Practice Areas Committee. And this is basically a committee that is concerned with introducing advocates to new areas of law, but also importantly, also other niche areas that are emerging within the traditional practice areas. And this is basically to say that as the numbers grow, we are keen on ensuring that we expand the size of the cake to ensure that no member joins the profession and becomes disillusioned because they find that if it is within the litigation space, the running down matters, the conveyancing space is taken up. Yet there are so many other things, from the artificial intelligence conversations, data protection, climate change, adoption and surrogacy. All these are areas of law within which we need people. In fact, I would quote the good book that says that there's too much harvest. There are just not enough people to harvest. As a branch, we have also been very big on empowering our members. Today, we had the very first legislative drafting training. This is, of course, also a niche area of law that we intend to empower members in, to ensure that they can also make an income from legislative drafting. We've also introduced a number of social events, like we have what we call the Karura Cycling and Walks, which happens every first Saturday of the month. And this is one of those forums we believe members can come, interact, do peer reviews, and socialize, because we are also very big on what we are calling a gene improvement program for the country. Our strong belief... Gene improvement program for the country. And I'd say why we need it.
Please. Mutua is hearing other things.
No, it's okay.
Why we need this kind of program is because, you know, sometimes the kind of leadership we have of the country was voted in by Kenyans. And, there is a mirage, or rather there is a fallacy that a number of Kenyans are illiterate. And every time after elections, you really want to reconsider whether that is truly the position. And my belief is, maybe if lawyers marry amongst each other, we will have more brilliant Kenyans and we will see better leadership. But maybe importantly, one of the other things...
Are you serious? You're saying that with eyes wide open.
Yeah, that is gene improvement for you.
It is a gene improvement program, because the idiocy that we've seen in leadership...
Okay, thank you very much.
is shocking. Mm-hmm. But maybe more importantly, we've also started engagement with stakeholders, especially in the justice sector. Recently, we went to the Milimani Commercial Chief Magistrates Court, And one of the things that we were aiming to do, especially for our members, is just arrive at the place of setting a standard of expectation. And this has to do with how long must I wait for my decree after judgment? Should I just wait until Christ comes? Do I really need to go and have to see someone for my decrees to issue or for my file to move? And we made very good resolutions. We will be signing an MOU with the Chief Magistrate's Court and Milimani, where we will now agree on the standards of expectation for our members. And one of the things we have said is, if I have gotten my judgment, I expect that my decree will be out within 7 days. That is one of the things that
I hope small claims can hear that.
Small claims court.
We have a meeting with the small claims court in a few days to come. We will also set down the standard of expectation for our members. We also have another meeting with the Ministry of Lands on the 3rd of October. And we will also have that standard of expectation, because we know the frustrations members are suffering, especially those practicing conveyancing, where you are told that we have a disasa, and it has been nicknamed a ditasa, because in as much as it is a digital system, you rarely get results until you either make a call or visit the ministry and have someone push things for you. We expect that now that things are online and digitized, that I will be able to finish my transactions from the office. That way, at least our members can enjoy the fruits of the hard work that we put in, because what lawyers do is not easy. And it cannot be that we, as the main players in the justice sector, are the ones suffering the highest level of injustice, which even goes to the place of our food or our daily bread. So those are some of the things that we have done. Those are things that I will consider our success even before 100 days lapse.
Amazing. Amazing. I remember the last time when you were here, Wakili Eric, you talked about that digital space. You need to digitize this thing big time. Yes. And the way you've spoken, commendable. Commendable. Wakili.
Barbara.
Yes.
I know the branch has a number of committees.
Sure.
And we've seen a lot of communication. I'm presuming that is from your department. So maybe you can tell us the department that you head and what are some of the things that you're doing in that space.
Okay, so we have a communications department within the LSK Nairobi branch. And our main mandate, of course, is to keep engaging the membership, who are fellow advocates, who then form part of the members who work in the regions that Chair has mentioned. And so the purpose of the whole department is also, other than engaging them, is also keep members updated. And you've noticed in the last few weeks, we'd also ask members for feedback, for challenges, whether these are challenges that have to do with litigation or with the BRS or with the lands office, so that then when we are vocalizing the issues that we face on a day-to-day, we also have the data to back it up. And also members are encouraged to participate as key stakeholders. We also involve members in the in our own events. You'll notice that we have very robust events as we progress. We have the almost monthly quiz nights, and then we have training. We have continuous training, and I think Chair has been a big participant in ensuring that they are continuous, so that then we do not have gaps, and we are trying to address as many as possible issues that are addressed or raised by members. So as communications, I think we are part of the reason why the branch continues to have visibility. Yes.
Asante sana. Now, you guys have mentioned the events.
Yes.
You've mentioned about cycling in Karura. You've mentioned about, she's mentioned about the quiz nights. I also know the barbecues. Now, that has been one of your biggest success stories. It has also been one of the talking points. Because guys ask, okay, what have you achieved with those kind of activities? What was the aim of having such activities?
I can.
Any of you can take that.
Well, you know, I think I have just said a few minutes ago that what lawyers do is difficult, and debriefing sessions are very important. Socializing, very important. But I think for me, what I think this has achieved above everything else is just that peer review mechanism. It has provided an avenue where advocates, you know, when you are in a social event, you are, maybe for lack of a better word, unhinged. And maybe moments after a number of bottles, I don't know which one Mutua takes.
You sparkling water.
You will be easy about some of the things that you think you are doing different from your other colleagues. And every time we exchange ideas on what you are doing when it comes to just managing your law firm, maybe managing your client relations and what have you, we are exchanging ideas for the betterment of the society. And so for me, I have seen that work a lot, so that you realize that when it comes to farm management and maybe client care, the advocates, of course, who've done better in client care, like the one who was holding hands. But you realize that there is almost a standard way of running farms, a standard way of managing accounts, a standard way of just managing clients. But most importantly, there's also the aspect of mentorship. A lot of the time, you rarely get to sit with seniors because of how serious, or rather how busy some of them can get. But during most of these events, a lot of them come and they're easy, they come to mingle. During that period, people will share wisdom, and they will possibly explain to those coming into the profession, maybe the do's and don'ts. What are some of the things they think they would have done differently, and what they think is in store for the future of the profession. But maybe just to give statistics, since we were sworn in on the 7th of June 2024, we've been invited to at least 5 weddings. And so, if that is not a success story coming from the social, I don't know what is. That will be all. I don't know whether Vice Chair has.
Oh Lord, Charlie, I like that. We have a late comer who's the Vice Chair.
It's fine. Better than never.
So, Mr. Vice Chair, I want you to tell us first of all, who are you?
My name is Ribin Ondwari. I'm the Vice Chair of the LSK Nairobi branch. Yes.
No, who are you? Where do you work? Those are the kind of things that I'm asking, so that at least when our listeners get to hear who was here and they want to maybe make a follow-up, whether it's a social follow-up, as the chair was saying, or work-related call-up, they can figure out where to find you.
So I work at Ashitiva Advocates.
Yes.
I lead the real estate, banking, and financial services practice at the firm. Yeah, so Ashitiva is one of the corporate commercial firms in the country. And we do full-service corporate commercial services, but now for me, I lead the real estate, banking, and financial services team.
Now, let me just ask a very philosophical question. Okay, not philosophical, really. You said you had Nairobi branch has 14,000 lawyers. Practicing advocates in Kenya about 19,000, as you put it, roughly, so that people don't give us stones and they're saying we know. So, do you think it's time to break Nairobi branch? Because look at all those numbers: 14,000 vis-a-vis 19,000. Don't you think we need to have another smaller branch or smaller branches in terms of the number of advocates you're meeting? And considering, I think on one of these next few days, you're going to have 801 advocates getting 800 or 300. One of those numbers. Yes.
Well, it's a dicey conversation, and I think you needed to have prepared me for this one. but I'd give my views nonetheless. I think for me, we are yet to get to the point of saying, or rather, we've not attained a standard where we can say that Nairobi branch can now be broken in 2 other branches. And the reason I say this is because of where the branch is. You know, the branch should be celebrating maybe just about 10 years in the next year. And in 10 years, there is a lot that still needs to be done. And one of it, of course, has to do with resources. You may also be aware that the national office, LSK, has revised practicing fees downwards. And so this basically means the resources, or rather the sure resources for LSK generally, and you note that the branch gets its funding from the LSK. So the amount of resources is going to reduce when it comes to finances. And I don't think then we will be wise at this particular point to say we break the branch into two, for the simple reason that the branches as is are yet to attain a level of autonomy so that we can say the funding we get from the national office is even sufficient to begin with. And now the branches most of the time are forced to do on source revenue, so to speak. Before we attain that level, it will be quite unwise to set up another branch. You also know the rigors that come with having to set up another branch. There will be a revision of the laws that will take members voting in an AGM, and that whole process. It is one that will not be for the betterment of the society. And so for me, it is not yet time.
But we love AGMs. We love that one CPD point. We love the drama that comes with it. Why are you denying that opportunity?
I thought people always tells me you guys love elections.
No.
And AGMs.
We love the animal. I don't know what's with this. Mutua is just not serious. Or maybe he doesn't want to disclose to people that we have an annual migration to Diani every August.
He will tell us.
No. That is the best kept secret about this area, and we need to keep it. That is our inside story that needs to remain that way.
I withdraw.
Yeah,
Barbara.
so,
Thank you.
But I also remember the branches also have chapters within them. So in as much as it looks like power is in the center, there's also some degree of devolution. Currently we have the Kiambu chapter.
We also have the Thika chapter.
Thika chapter, yes. So as you can see, there's no, if we come back to the table and decide we want to have a break again within the branches, it might also just cause for a bit disillusionment. Because at least from here, you're able to serve members, and unless members feel that they're not, being able to be served, because the registries are the same. You interact with the Ministry of Lands when you go to the land registries. You interact with BRS and larger citizen services. So since service delivery has not also been really devolutionalized, I think the way we currently have the structures in place is good, even just for general governance and oversight. Yeah.
And maybe just to escalate it, we also have what we call the practice areas. These are now smaller than the chapters, so that we have the Ruiru practice area, we have Limuru, and we have Kikuyu. So in terms of devolution, we've really tried to get down to the member. Yes.
And if I may add on that, for me, it really goes around the structure of the legal practice. See, think about the law; it does not operate in a vacuum. The law operates the way its environment works. So if you look at Nairobi branch, this is the branch that sits in the capital of Nairobi. So this is a branch that then replicates what Nairobi is supposed to be. Because Nairobi is the commercial hub of the country, and there's the ambition and aspiration for Nairobi to be the hub of the East and Central Africa in terms of business. So that's why Nairobi branch has to remain big, so that then it can support the law firms and the members in Nairobi to be able to then replicate the ambition of the commercial center in Nairobi and just the general nature of the Nairobi. So because that's the nature of the law, and the nature of the law is how the law firms will operate, and that's how the law firms are operating. Then we as a branch, because our main functions are practice standards and the welfare of members, so we have to take the shape in which our members are taking.
Yeah, we have 4 minutes to go, Mutua. You want to say something about that one?
No,
Eric here.
I entirely agree with my vice. I think one of the things
I like the devolution aspect of it, how you guys have just... Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Maybe what I wanted to just say is in this country, The only people who are working closely with their deputies is LSK, the national office, and the branches.
Too soon. Too soon. And too shit. But now that you've mentioned that,
Yes.
you guys seem to be working together as a team.
I like
pulling
that.
together as a
I like
team.
that.
I have seen previously with either branches or the main LSK. Previously, we've had a bit of push and pull here and there. How have you guys managed to ensure that we are not seeing some of the things that we used to see, and we are also not witnessing someone being impeached like the honest man?
I think I'll give it a go.
In fact, that's good what he said, because someone is asking here
Yes.
to you, Eric, of course, Ribin, coming, what people are saying, welcome.
Yes.
What is it that you're doing different now, basically, apart from what Mutu is actually? What is it that you guys are doing differently, apart from what was happening before? I remember you keep, like the way you came and preached and said, man, these old fogies, we need to change everything. We need to go digital. Now, this is what we are doing. Now we're going to blah, blah, blah. Anyway.
I think because there is possibly a target on my back, I'll speak briefly on the matter, and then allow my council members also to weigh in on the issue. You know, we were elected on what we call the reset and calibrate agenda. And it is such, it was not just high sounding, but I think it was such a consequential ideology that swept all the way to Britain, because, you know, the British Prime Minister was elected on the reset agenda. It came back home, and the Gen Zs actually reset the country.
Correct.
I'm really hoping that in 2027 we are going to calibrate and just set that standard that is good for this country. But maybe just to what is working for us. They say that everything rises and falls on leadership. And more often than not, what I have observed, and these are my views, is that when the leader suffers self-esteem, or rather low self-esteem, it means that it is impossible to jail, because they suffer the fear that if my vice chair speaks better than I, or attends a function that is bigger than the ones I've been attending, they are taking the shine away from me. But from the word go, when we were elected, we just agreed that indeed the main objective is to serve members. At the end of our 2 years mandate, we will be judged by how members feel the branch served them. And they will not pick an individual and say it was you who was shining the most. They will talk about the council that was there 2024, 2026. But I must also say that I have been fortunate to have a council made up of advocates who are competent in what they do. And when you have people who are really good at what they do, it is very easy to get by, because I know that my communication secretary Barbara is up to the task. Communication will be taken care of. I know that my vice chair really represents the branch in every event or in every occasion where he's been deputized to attend. I know that my fundraising secretary, my secretary, all these people are holding the branch in a way that serves the interests of the members. And so I am at a place of comfort, knowing that we don't have any haggling for anything other than the interest to serve members. Maybe Bwana Vice Chair and Barbara can weigh in also on the matter.
Yeah, they can do that very quickly, because we need to take a short break. Eric, don't go yet, because we have one more question before we release you, please. Is that okay with you? Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Right, we just tuned in. It's a Legal Insider every Thursday, 6:30 to 7:30. A plethora of guests talking about the newness of this organization, of course, headed by Eric Kivuva, the chair, and wonderful people. Barbara, thank you so much for coming, Ribin. And 0701984984, hashtag Legal Insider, hashtag Mutua.
Quick one, Wakili.
Quick one, Wakili. Audio the best big mix of music, Capital FM, 4 minutes past 7 o'clock, Legal Insider, every Thursday here at Capital FM, 6:30 to 7:30. So the conversation continues right now as we continue. 0701984984, hashtag Legal Insider, hashtag
Quick one, Wakili.
Quick one, Wakili. Eric, before you leave, you wanted to say something first, huh? You had a thought line.
No. There was a thought line.
There was a
yes. So Barbara and Ribin had to just continue there to give us their thoughts
about what you
on
had
the
said.
working relationship.
Then we'll ask you the question.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Ribin.
No, absolutely. I fully agree with my chair in terms of the aspect of that. We got really lucky to have been elected a team of very competent leadership who are focused on actually serving the members, because you realize when the focus is external towards the members, then you don't have a lot of time towards internal bickering. So I fully agree with my chair on that.
Barbara.
Yeah, I think we're also very, most of us are diplomatic. So if we do have conflict, because they must arise, the best thing is to have a discussion and just have a general consensus. If you put it to a vote, the majority wins, right? So, but most of the times it's just usually, because we also have a calendar of events. So we're not left, we're not left unto ourselves to come up with that. And we have also a very able secretariat that helps steer the ship. So yeah, it's so far so good, and I don't think there will be squabbles. I know Mutua loves drama.
Mutua. Is he smiling?
It might not be from this corner. Yes.
Good. So it means your timetable is busy. There's no time to sit down and start telling Ribin, what are you doing by now? You should be reading this thing, not cleaning your glasses. You know, some things you're like, what is that about? Should I ask the question, Mutua, before?
No, yeah. Go ahead. Yes.
You know, these high-profile jobs, by the way, they come with interesting connections and perks and all that. And one of the questions that people always ask here, especially people who get to your level, Mr. Kivuva, at some point, you have to stand somewhere and say, I need to be voted as MCA or whatever. Do you have political ambitions at the end of the day? Because that's where you're seated, by the way. It's very powerful, by the way. It's very powerful. You influence a lot of people.
You are telling me.
And there are a lot of people right now who are listening to this show.
Yes.
Yeah. Advocates even.
Yes.
Lawyers and judges.
Yes. Well,
there he goes.
Are you trying to?
I'm not insinuating anything. I'm not insinuating
to say hi
anything.
to the constituents in the future.
We're in Kathonzweni.
It is an interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
And I maybe I need to agree entirely with my communication secretary that the branch is very busy, and so you rarely have time for distractions. But on to your question, especially the LSK Nairobi branch is what I would call sacrificial service.
Oh, okay.
And anyone thinking that they will come to serve the branch to improve their financial position will be in for a rude shock. And I would discourage anyone who thinks that the LSK Nairobi branch is where they improve their financial position. But as regards the future, of course, the heart to serve has remained strong. The passion remains, and so if in the future the people of Machakos County or the people of Mwaura constituency do not get the leadership they deserve, then I'll have no option but to take up the responsibility.
Okay.
And this is even founded on the Bible, because I'm not sure, but I think it's in the book of Luke that puts the question, which person who has a lamp puts it under the table? You put it on the table. Will I sit and watch when my people or the people from where I come from are being mismanaged when I think I can do better? Obviously not. It will be letting down even the lawyers that I'm serving currently. And we also maybe seek the prayers of members that we continue serving them in the right manner, and there are no squabbles, and that God keeps us to the point when we can provide alternative leadership for this country. That's what I would say.
Thank you. You've spoken like a politician.
Super.
Now we can release you, and then we remain with the rest of the members, and we continue the conversation.
Thank you very
But
much.
also, do you know
Thank
who
very
speaks
much.
like a politician? Who speaks with a lot of quoting of the Bible, and is not a very honest man?
I
Don't
mean,
go there.
if you were to associate me with that,
No, I'm just saying the politicians that I've seen quoting the Bible are not.
you would break my heart, my brother. Please don't. And you
Oh,
see, if we were to be judged by the maybe just about 90 days we've been in office, I think we've lived up to the promises of resetting and calibrating, and members are feeling the branch more. We've introduced new things, and so that association would be unfortunate, my brother. So please don't.
I
But,
withdraw.
Maybe just a big shout out to all members of
Please.
the LSK Nairobi branch from Kiambu, Kikuyu, Limuru, Nairobi. We are trying our best. Continue supporting the branch. We also ask that people become paid up members, subscribed members of the branch. It's only just 1,500 shillings. It is not so much. I am certain that most of our members spend more than that for their lunch. And so if you pay that amount, you will be indeed supporting your branch. So thank you very much, CK Wanamutua.
Karibu sana.
I leave you now in the safe hands of my vice chair and my communication secretary.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Always appreciated.
Always.
Yes.
Always.
Sasa, just so because the chairs touched on something, I would want you guys just to build up on it, so that as you build up on it, before you get to the next question, how do you become a paid up member of Nairobi branch LSK apart from the money that is paid? Are there procedures, or how does it go? Any of you can take it.
No, it's not really complicated. We have a pay bill. We can share with it as the show goes on. Yeah, and so you just give us your P105, pay the 1,500, and you're subscribed. In fact, we even have the lapels to go with it. Yeah.
Oh, just that.
Yes.
Yeah. Sawa. I hope our listeners have heard that. Now, we've seen a lot of moving parts in Nairobi branch. We've seen a lot of consultative meetings here and there. We've seen meetings with the governor of Nairobi. We've seen meetings with good people at our business registration service. We've seen a lot of meetings with the office of director of public prosecutions. We've seen meetings with the new attorney general. We've seen meetings with so many arms of the government, both the national government and the county governments. What are members supposed to expect to come from that?
So those meetings are really aimed at the key functions that we have. Because as I mentioned, one of our key functions is the practice standards for advocates. And you see the offices that you've mentioned, these are the offices that our members, the lawyers, attend to this office day in, day out in order to serve their clients. So what we are doing is creating that platform so that then we ease the processes where we can, and also just create that channel so that then we can, because as a user, as the advocates, we are the user of these services, so then we are able to engage with these different stakeholders to ensure we share with them feedback. Where they're doing well, they continue doing well. Where there's some bit of challenges, these challenges are removed, so that when our members are actually interacting with these different offices in terms of serving their clients, they get a much more seamless process.
Yeah, plus you remember the conversation that the law does not exist in a vacuum. So the only way that we can have more impactful practice is if we continue engaging with the relevant stakeholders. And because this is a service industry and it has both the private and the public parts of it, then it's inevitable that we'll have to have a meeting at some point or the other. Yeah. But it's all to improve the practice and also for the benefit of the clients.
Now, talking about improving the practice and the clients, you guys reconstitute the committees.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many they are. Maybe you guys can tell us what they are. And what was the aim? Because I saw some committees previously that I was part of, being broken down into two. For example, IP and telecommunications was broken into a number of sub-committees and other sub-committees maybe. What first of all, how many committees are there? what was the thought process behind the breaking down of the committees, and what do you mean to achieve with the committees, the new reconstituted committees?
So the committees are 38.
Ah,
Yes.
Hey, I thought you would say about 3 or 4. 38.
so we can't clearly mention all of them, but we can mention just the bigger ones.
The important
Yeah.
And I'm
ones.
hoping members, when we mention the bigger ones, members who are not part of it don't feel, yes.
So there are 38, and some of those ones which I can mention, of course, as like the litigation practice committee. There's a commercial practice committee. We have the different. There's a devolution and law reform committee. We also have different liaison committee, like the business registration service liaison committee. We also have the lands registry liaison committee, and then there are different bar benches which then engage between the bar, not the bar for alcohol, but the bar for advocates and the bench, so as to a seamless process when engaging in court. There's a new one that has been brought up, which is Emerging Areas Committee. This is one of the promises which the chair had made. And the thinking behind all this is, as the words will keep saying, the law does not operate in a vacuum. And the world in which we live right now is very dynamic. So we are trying to mirror as much as possible the different practice areas and how they are clustered, so that then you bring in members who are interested in those different areas within the clusters, so that they can share and exchange ideas as to how these areas can be improved. Because in as much as we are the elected leadership, we understand we do not have the monopoly of ideas. We do not have the monopoly of understanding the experiences. So we actually, committees are a form of coming together with members to share our ideas, exchange our ideas, so that we can have refreshed ideas and then bring the reset and calibrate agenda and to serve the members.
Ms. Mwaura, yes.
This is a continuation of group work. So
I like that.
Oh, farm work.
yes, this is just an adult replica of farm work outside Kenya School of Law. Yeah. So the committee is also an opportunity for us to also involve members. Most of the members who joined happen to be practitioners, and the beauty of it is that during even the application, you'd have very many applicants. In fact, I think Ribin could attest, because he also served in the previous branch. This time round, it attracted more applicants than ever. And so you correctly mentioned that we had to break them down, because members have varying interests, but because we have the opportunity to specialize, then we break them down further. And it also ensures that we have mid-bar, senior bar, young bar. They all now come.
All bars.
Yeah, all.
That
all
don't have
bars.
alcohol.
Yeah.
Mature.
Yeah, this is the opportunity to mingle. It's also the opportunity to set the standards, and even just have conversations about where practice is going. So if for example, right now we're having the Science Park convention happening at Konza, and we only have one Science Park in Kenya. At least I know of Konza, unless in your county you have another one.
Yeah.
But you see, this is where we've reached at, and coming from where we are, and the fact that, for example, Gen Zs were able to orchestrate a whole demo virtually, it shows you the world is also moving. So
It
the
has actually
committees
moved.
completely. So the committees are one of the focus points that enable us to then have a voice and be everywhere in many places or practice areas. To make meaningful change, yeah.
Actually, if I may, before we go to the next question,
You come closer.
as Barbara has
Thank you.
mentioned, this time we got a huge number of applications, a total of 970 applications. So we'd like to thank the members for showing their interest. And it's one of those things which we are thinking about as a council, because we could not get all the 970 members into the committees. We'll still find a way to engage with members so as we keep that active spirit going.
Mutua,
Yeah.
Wakili, sorry, somebody's asking, but great conversation about what the panel is saying, but they're asking on the purest of it, where does that normal mwananchi, where are they gaining from this amazing group of people? Maybe Ribin, we can start with you, sir.
So thing about
Because we've had horrific stories that guys were like, why am I going to a lawyer? For what? Why? Yeah. But people are hopeful about this, what you guys are doing. Yeah.
all these things that we discuss have an end user.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
they have an end user in two ways.
Mhm.
So the first one, I'll speak about the direct one because we have a public interest and legal aid committee. This is now the committee that engages directly with the members. They offer, we have programs where we go out there, offer legal aid to members free of service in
that's
terms
good,
of the
yeah.
different areas.
Yeah.
There are also public interest litigation cases. These are cases that are filed purely to safeguard that public interest. So that's the first aspect, the direct one.
Okay.
Then you have the indirect one, because every time that we are saying we are enabling the advocates to have a seamless process, these advocates are not going there for themselves. They're actually going for the client, that end user mwananchi. So be it in court, litigating the different cases, be it in the different registries, doing the different transactions, all these have an end user in person. So we interact, and these ideas cascade down to the mwananchi in that dual way.
All right, fantastic. Barbara?
Awesikia Charlie.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, that's good.
Barbara.
That's good.
Yeah, so as Ribin has said, finally there's someone who benefits or there's someone who suffers when there's a lapse in service delivery, and
that happens a lot.
Yeah, it does. Unfortunately, yes. But again, you see, when we do the stakeholder engagement, it's also the only opportunity we have to assess how far are we with, for example, reforms. When we had a courtesy call with the High Court, one of the things the registrar was explaining to us was how they also plan to have to be able to to type submissions digitally. I forget the term. Yeah. So that then we have less delays when we're asking for, can I have typed proceedings? Those are simple things, but in as much as they're simple, until things like COVID happened is when that became a catalyst. So the branch is one way to at least engage stakeholders and ask them, how far are you with this? We have the monthly BRS liaison committee meetings, and the registrar of BRS will come with her spreadsheet. She will show you how many number of businesses were opened for that month. She will then show you the effect of having the demos on Tuesday and Thursdays, being the 2 days where there are less registrations of businesses. And she will tell you, if you continue at this pace, by the time we get to December, we'll be off target, and it will take us X number of months to actually recover. And when we talk about that, we're talking about businesses, which means we're talking about money, we're talking about employment opportunities. So the legal services are more or less of a bridge for many services that exist.
Okay.
So if we do not engage, get feedback from members, get feedback from the registries, court systems, then finally we're also not able to assess ourselves. And when we're asked at the end of the day how many law firms are registered, they might be done because we haven't been keeping track. Yeah.
Okay.
No. That is proper. I'm hoping that listeners was able to listen to all those points, because that touches down to the mwananchi, the connection between mwananchi service delivery and the different key players in the ecosystem. Now, just part of Nairobi branch, you've been doing a number of series, coffee talks, Know Your Tribunal, maybe the other series that mental health awareness and all that. Fortunately, the chair talked about the initial one, the social ones, the barbecues and whatnot. Yeah. Now, these ones are not social; they're not social gigs. What is the thinking behind it, and what do you aim to achieve with some of these conversations?
So it all boils down to justice delivery, because most, as lawyers, our key business is justice delivery. Like with Know Your Tribunal series, if you realize the world in which we live in, we are becoming heavily regulated. Everything is being regulated, left, right, and center. But now what has happened with tribunals, these are sort of the hybrid mechanism where there's still a structure of resolving these disputes, but that doesn't take the high formality of courts. So you have tribunals in so many areas, which then allow you as an end user within this highly regulated aspect to have a sort of dispute resolution mechanism that is closer to you to enable you to deal with this particular aspect. There's the Energy and Regulatory Tribunal. This one deals with the disputes, KPLC. If the lights go out, then they come back and the equipment is burnt, you can actually take them to that tribunal and be compensated. If you have the business premises rent tribunal, I heard there was even one on food and something, where then if someone is giving you a regime to cut weight and things are not going well, you can also take it. So virtually you have tribunals cover everything. So like when you do like Know Your Tribunal series, which is something we do with the judiciary, is just to bring out this aspect so that members of the public can know that there are other avenues in which these disputes can be resolved. And in the grand scheme of things, actually, this will help even to decongest the courts, because if you have a number of all these disputes resolved in the available tribunals, it can help. So essentially, almost everything we do is actually leading towards assisting in that justice delivery to the mwananchi directly, and also indirectly through enabling the advocate to have that good environment to serve the members, because then it's only when this advocate is having a good environment to serve the mwananchi that he'll actually give the best.
Mwaura.
I don't want to belabor the point. I think.
Okay,
very well.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's actually shown the connectivity between the Kawaida Mwananchi and. So do you roll them out to Wananchi as well, or is just a lawyer thing?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
No, like the Know Your Tribunal series is open for everyone.
So it's an open.
It's free.
Open.
Yes.
So the ones that we restrict for advocates are sort of like the technical trainings that are internal, which are not necessarily going to directly help them. But we'll still also have those ones that engage the mwananchi directly, like the way I mentioned, the legal aid series that we usually have. This is something is organized, and somewhere the members of the public come, there would be some talk somewhere, then there'll be an arrangement where parties then come and bring their own questions and all that. So there's a lot that happens, including actually even media appearances where you speak about issues that are of public interest.
It's interesting, Ribin, you're saying that, because someone here was saying, do you have a situation where just get a stadium like Nyayo? Yeah. Or just a big place, and then just have all these lawyers lined up and say, you have legal issues, you have marriage issues, that is your line. If Mutua has taken your money, that is your line. Yeah, and guys just come and just air their views and then just advise them, or pro bono, or just do something. Because for the longest time I've done this show with Mutua, a lot of people are very afraid of getting lawyers. They're like, hey, look at Ribin, look at the way he's dressed, man. I can't afford you, man. How? Yeah. So do you have? Sorry, Mutua.
No. Just it's a build up to what Charlie is saying.
Yeah.
He's talking about legal aid. So
Yeah,
can you explain maybe
Yeah.
if you have other forums? Do you have any legal aid events that are coming up before the end of the year, or maybe you can tell us, are you planning something around that?
Thank you.
Yeah, we are definitely in the heading toward the last quarter of the year. So we definitely have legal aid, and I think also to just invite the members, we usually provide legal aid mostly on Sundays, even to churches. So if they want us to visit their church, because I think that's the most local, like that's how you'll get down to the people, I think then we come to you. You tell us on this day we'll be at X church, and we request the membership to join us on that Sunday, and you can meet the advocates, and they will not be sharply dressed like Ribin.
Hey,
on that day.
Ribin walks in everybody time. even in the office, they're like, hey, dude, what's up, man?
Yeah, but when you meet him on Sunday, he'll be, the gap will be bridged. So
All right, fantastic.
So can you extend this to maybe mosques, synagogues,
definitely
places where guys play golf as well?
Yeah, that one I'll leave Ribin.
Right.
Yes, he's a golfer enthusiast. But yes,
Just to add on that, there are two serious initiatives that are coming up. The first one is there's a legal awareness week that is coming up. There'll be specific places where lawyers will be stationed for the entire week to just offer services to mwananchi. Then when we met the Nairobi County Governor, there's actually a discussion which we initiated, and it was very receptive in terms of working out a structure in which we can work with them so that we can also have some centers around Nairobi where we can then have some stationed places where advocates can come at specified areas to just offer legal aid. So that one is happening. But beyond that, don't be afraid of lawyers. Everything that comes good comes at a price. And
there we go.
Legal advice.
It's okay. Yeah.
And it saves you a lot. They
Yeah.
say if you think paying for legal advice is expensive, try going without legal advice. That's when you see there are a number of issues that happen in lands transactions, in commercial areas and all that. Just pay that price, and it saves you a lot, because then a number of these fraud cases that you're seeing around, a number of these issues, with some little due diligence or with some review of those contracts and everything, a lot more money would have been saved than what you think you're saving by avoiding to go to pay a lawyer legal fees.
So you're telling the local Mwananchi right now who's listening that, okay, Ribin, pay this amount of money, but pay it slowly, even for a year, but pay it.
Absolutely.
I like that.
So I've seen the producer doing things, telling us to start preparing to get out of the studio.
Yes.
There's one question I can't live without. Nairobi Legal Awards. You guys talk about it.
Yeah, what's Gala?
Yes. Barbara, tuanze na wewe.
Well, for us, it's an opportunity to of course celebrate advocates who are doing an excellent job in their specific areas of practice, because this year we have categorization, so we expect it to be even more specific. It's also the opportunity for us to doll up and roll up.
Oh, yeah. I like that, yeah.
And it will be happening at Safari Park, I think on the 1st of November. So I expect to see as many advocates as possible. Please don't miss out, because this is like our only version of Met Gala that we'll have at LSK. Yeah.
We will try and actually do the show on that particular day with Wakili Mutua.
Yes, we can try and
we can actually. I'll talk to my boss actually.
Yeah.
It would be nice just
live
to have
on location.
live on location.
Just to have you guys who won, who was the best dressed. I know Ribin will be the best dressed together. I'm just saying. Okay, we have a final question here. Mutua, I'd like you to Wakili Mutua.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe I can just
just mention yes.
Congratulations to Wakili Mutua. He's an awardee in the awards.
No, you shouldn't have mentioned that.
Is it because of this show?
Thank you.
It's part of it.
Because of being this show. Oh yeah, well done.
But just
so make sure you mention the show, and you mention.
Oh Lord,
and you mention me. Sorry,
just to add the way Barbara was saying, they say when someone is not happy, they tell 10 people. When they're happy, they go to their houses and they're happy with your services and all that.
Yeah.
So they got to a point where a lot of what we were hearing was negative news about advocates. But it's not because there are no advocates who are doing good things. There are a number of advocates who are doing good things. So then this was where the initiative came up by the Nairobi branch to ensure that we are able to give a platform to actually broadcast that these advocates who are doing good things, for 2 reasons. Number one, to sensitize the public that bad news doesn't mean we are all involved in that. And number two, to encourage those ones who are doing good to continue doing good.
Yeah. All right.
Final word. Yeah. Final word kabla muende sasa. Kabla tufukuzwe kwa studio kabisa.
Well, I hope to see, I hope to invite and see all the advocates at the gala. And I also hope that members will also now subscribe. And for the Mwananchi, if you have any specific need that you'd like the branch to look into, we have our communication channels. As the communication secretary, I cannot fail to miss out that. And please do follow us. We are on all the social media, and follow, and let's continue engaging. Yes,
thank you, Barbara.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. That was good.
Hajasema yake.
Nani?
Ribin.
Oh, Ribin.
Why you? No, he's not.
I'm being harassed by the producer.
I can see.
Selasi bana.
Just quickly, just to thank the members
yes.
for working with us, and most importantly, to thank the stakeholders who opened the doors, because this not only serve us as advocates, but it also serves Mwananchi.
Thank you so much.
But tuulize maswali.
Maswali utaulizwa. Thank you so much, Barbara Ribin, for coming through. Of course, Ero, actually, who's left in a half. I don't know where he was running to. And of course, always every Thursday, Wakili Mutua, thanks for coming through, bringing wonderful people. I call them choppies. Remember, this happens every Thursday, 6:30 to 7:30. Legal Insider. The conversation continues, 0701984994. #Legal Insider. #.
Wakili quick one.
Wakili quick one.